episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works answers the age-old question: what would happen if Harry Potter were a badass action anime series? That's right, my friends, we're here at the epilogue, the final episode of the series, which is going to wrap up everything with Shirou and Rin. We're even going to get a few cameos from some old characters, and we're also going to get some random kick-ass action scenes. To quote Shakespeare, "'Twas badass." Alright, let's get to the brass tacks about this week's episode. This one is all about the relationship between Shirou and Rin and how it's evolved over the course of the couple years and after the Holy Grail War, and it's handled really well. It's downright charming, and even though I'm not really into the whole lovey-dovey love story type of anime, I actually really like the way it was handled in this week's episode. And you know what's really weird? They don't even kiss. Not once in this entire episode. They barely even embrace each other, and yet you still feel that their relationship is incredibly close, and that they have a true understanding of one another, and that they truly do belong together. It's cheesy and it's schmaltzy, but it actually does work within the confines of this episode. I think one of the best scenes from this one was when they actually go out to this brand new school, which is known as Clock Tower. They skip ahead 2 years in the future. We learn that they're studying at this big mage school, which is basically Hogwarts on drugs. What's really cool about this place is that it just gives us this big random action scene out of nowhere. There's this character who's introduced by the name of Luvia, and she fights against Rin in this bare-knuckle brawl, which is just insane. It's awesome. It's so well animated, and it even features a scene where this Luvia chick literally suplexes Rin into a marble-tiled floor. It's pretty freaking awesome. It's out of nowhere and doesn't sort of gel with the rest of the episode, but as an action fan, I really appreciate it. But this also leads to another fantastic scene, which just drips with amazing atmosphere, where you have Rin who's taking Shirou out to the countryside of England to actually see the gravesite of Saber, of King Arthur. This way he can actually say his final goodbyes. It's short but sweet, but it just makes you feel good. But even with all the action scenes and the charming characters, I think my favorite thing about this week's episode was getting that cameo from Waver Velvet from Fate Zero. You guys remember that one scene where Shirou's just walking through the hallways, and he runs into that one instructor who basically just starts grilling Shirou and asking him what his whole deal is. Of course, Shirou's like, "I'm gonna become a hero of justice, dog!" And then you got Waver Velvet, who sort of like laughs it off, but he is somewhat impressed by him, and I think that's awesome. And just seeing how far Waver has come, that's insane. I never imagined that he would look like that as an adult. Another one of my favorite things about this one is definitely the way they actually end this week's episode. There's a final scene where we learn that after 3 years, Shirou and Rin are actually going to leave the clock tower and go off on their own adventure and sort of try to seek their own happy ending. It's very schmaltzy and cheesy, but honestly it's handled really, really well, especially that one final shot where they pan outward and you get to see the entire city, and slowly the night comes in, and it is just so beautiful. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a scene where almost nothing happens, and yet it actually moves me, and it's a way that I can't explain. It's just something that the series is really good at doing. Ufotable really knows how to draw you in and push some atmosphere right into your face. The final scene also has a scene with Archer, who's basically an unlimited Blade Works and just sort of coming to terms with himself. And then we have this one final scene where Shirou's just walking around in the desert. Does this mean we're going to get more in the future? We're just going to have to wait and see. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works? I'm honestly a little shocked. I didn't expect the epilogue to be as entertaining or well done as it was here. It made me realize that I do care about these characters. And what I also really loved is just how it also seems sort of open-ended. Like, we could get more. We could see more of this in the future with these characters, seeing how they develop in some other adventures that they go on. Is there going to be another Holy Grail War? Is there something else that they can actually do within the world of Fate Stay? We're just going to have to wait and see. Although people who read the light novels or play the games or whatever the hell this stuff is based on probably know a lot more than I do, but you need to realize I just watched the anime versions of these shows. That's pretty much my entire knowledge of the Fate Stay series. As a whole, after watching this episode and the entire Fate Stay Unlimited Blade Works, is it better than Fate Zero in my opinion? Not necessarily. I think it's a really great companion piece to that anime series. It's just the tones of the two are almost so completely different, and that's really amazing considering that they're basically set in the same universe, and it shows they can do just any type of story. I always felt that Fate Zero was a little more intense, a little darker, and just had like almost this like different feel to it. Like it almost felt a little too oppressive, whereas this one felt kind of liberating. It made you feel good, like the hero was actually being the hero. Like it didn't just end with complete and utter destruction like it did in Fate Zero, and that's a really tough dance that's hard to do. I can't wait to see if they're going to do a third series, which is going to be another companion piece to this one, because I tried watching the old Fate Stay Night anime series, and after watching this one and Fate Zero, I just don't like it as much, especially the animation, which just really is nothing special in the old version. Ufotable has done a fantastic job with this production. But let's get back on track for a second. Let's talk more about the end of this episode. Like I said, they wrap up everything pretty nicely. Like when they go back in time and you see what happened like a little while after the Holy Grail War, you get to see what happened to Shinji. Apparently he's still fine, if all the Shinji fans out there wanted to actually see that he was okay. Sakura, the most seldom used character of the series, is there. I wonder if they'll do something with her in the future. Possibly. They need to, because they make her seem like she's pretty freaking important. Again, this is a subject that I'm sure the other fans of Fate Stay who watch more than just the anime probably know a lot more about this character, but frankly I don't. What I also really loved about this finale, of course, was just that they introduced all of these new characters. It almost felt like it was the start of something new. Like this could have been like the next arc of the series, like studying at this maid school, especially with them introducing all these characters and bringing back characters like Waver Velvet. I thought that was pretty freaking awesome. I love that right there. All the moments with Rin and Shirou were handled really well, especially in the animation and artwork department. That scene where they're actually out having the picnic, just the shading of the trees that they're sitting under and everything is just so inviting and warming, and you really feel like you're there with them. It's a really, really nice scene. And just seeing how their actual relationship has developed, you know, it's just nice and charming. That's just really the word that I can use best to describe this epilogue, is charming. That's what this episode was right here. And I think that Fate Stay fans are really going to enjoy it. It was just pretty much a fantastic way to end this series, which I thought was really good. Like I said, I liked Fate Zero a little bit more, but I still think this is a fantastic series that any fan of action anime, good characters, good writing, and great production value should definitely check out. And of course, if you're a fan of the Fate Stay Night series, you're definitely going to check this out. You probably already have. You should probably already watch this episode 2 times by the time my review is out. All I know is I like this episode a lot, and at first I didn't think it was necessary. Now I think it's an integral part of the series, and I really enjoyed my experience with this one. I might do like a full series review of Unlimited Blade Works, because I never reviewed the first 13 episodes of the series. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I initially just never watched the series. I always just sort of wrote it off. And after just getting hundreds and hundreds of messages and requests, I just had to check it out. And I want to thank you guys for telling me to do that, because it's introduced me to this fantastic franchise, especially the ones that are done by Ufotable. And it forced me to watch Fate Zero, which completely blew my mind, and I loved it. And since I did a review for that one, I might try to do like a full comprehensive review of the entire Unlimited Blade Works series. Maybe I want to like write some things down, maybe write a script for it so I can make it a little more tight, because when I do this is all candid and everything. So there it is. I loved this episode a lot. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was a great way to end the series. It just felt good. It had a lot of great atmospheric moments. There was a little bit of action. There was a little bit of humor as well. This was just a great episode right here. I loved spending time with this series. It was fantastic. I hope you guys liked the final episode, but if you didn't like it, please tell me what you thought about the episode in the comments section below. What did you think of the finale of the series? Did you have a favorite moment, a favorite character who showed up, a favorite scene? Do you think there's going to be more Fate Stay Night anime in the future? If there is, what do you hope to see from that? Please tell me in the comments section below. Remember, if you guys actually want to see any of my previous reviews of the episodes, there will be a playlist on the channel, so make sure to check that out. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to like the video, share it with all of your friends, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews as they are released. You guys can also follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!